Wednesday on the station, Truth 96.1 FM. And I'm excited. I'm your humble host, Mark Boandao. I'm excited to be here this wonderful and pleasant Wednesday morning. As you may be aware, this radio program is a communication information dissemination platform of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is an advocacy tool that provides essential information about the state of the fight against corruption, promotes integrity building efforts as well as the culture of accountability, transparency, integrity, and evidence-based decision making across all sectors and institutions of our wonderful and beloved country, Liberia. This program also serves as an advocacy, coordination, and engagement platform to rally citizens and other stakeholders' support for the fight against corruption and bad governance in Liberia. We have a series of activities that we are operating, that we are implementing under the National Integrity Building Anti-Corruption Program, that is NIMBA for short. This program is supported by the government and the people of Sweden through the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, SIDA. So this real program happens to be one of the activities under the National Integrity Building Anti-Corruption NIMBA program. As you may be aware, we also have, like I said, we have series of activities, and one of those activities also happens to be the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center. At ILAC, there is a team of professionals, including lawyers, who are willing and ready to provide the necessary advice needed per the complaint. We encourage citizens to freely report and seek redress to corruption and all the integrity issues within our communities. It's very important that we take advantage of this center. The number to call the center is free. I mean, free of charge. If you are an Orange subscriber or if you are a Lone Star subscriber, you can just dial 4432. 4432. I mean, that's the short code 4432. Don't worry, you're not forced to be having credit on your phone. It's free. Like I said, it's free of charge. But the only thing, when you are calling the number, please ensure that you have pieces of evidence to substantiate your claims. I bet it's very important. We plead that you try to have at least small evidence to substantiate your claims. It's very important. So just call the number 4432. And I mean, the team of professionals and lawyers will be there to provide the necessary advice needed per the complaint. Or if you want to know about, laws governing anti-graft institutions in our country, like the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Auditing Commission, the General Audit Agency, and most of these anti-graft institutions, there's a whole book that has been part of. It's called the Compendium. It has all of those anti-graft institutions, laws and those things that the act that establish those institutions. So you can just call the center and they will direct you. Or better still, you can visit www.centl.org.ir to get hold of these laws governing these anti-graft institution. It's very important that you take advantage of it. So, like I said, as part of the NIMA program, we have the ALAC for short, the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center. I tell you for free. There are many people who have called that number, and today they have their pension benefits. I mean, today they are reinstalled. Today they have whatever that was taken away from them. I mean, illegally, they have those things with them. Some of them lost that job on false, allegations, and when the team, probe in the matter, and they were reinstalled. So it's very important that you take advantage of the 4432 number. Just call the number, and the team of professionals and lawyers will be there. Also, under this NIMA program, we have the Integrity Club, right? The Integrity Club is a collection of people, that have the that been imbued with the tenets of integrity to reach out in universities, high schools, communities to talk about integrity related issues about anti-corruption. I tell anybody, I mean, if you continue to talk to somebody about the negative impact of something, I mean, it might that change might not happen immediately as time evolves. I mean, that person, everybody have conscience, right? And that person know that he or she, whatever act that that person is involved into or involved with, I mean, they will gradually desist from it. That's why the Integrity Club, those ambassadors are out there in universities. That, like, for example, the University of Liberia, there is an Integrity Club that has been established there, to reach out to students, to talk to them about, I mean, anti-corruption efforts, integrity related messages, transparency and accountability, asking every one of them that the issue of transparency, the issue of integrity is very important because if we try as much as possible to live with integrity, I mean, we'll not be talking about deteriorating on the corruption perception index. I mean, more people will get themselves involved with integrity. Will start to do the right thing at the right time when nobody is watching. They also students are also at the United Methodist University, and recently there was a training that was held with students of the African Methodist Episcopal University about around anti-corruption laws. We have this new anti-corruption laws. We have another one, the Whistleblower Blower Protection Act. That has been established in 2022. I mean, to talk about if somebody reports acts of corruption, how can that person be protected? It's very important. And we were there, training students about these laws. Students wanting to know if I report corruption, will my life be protected? Because obviously, right, if you're working in an institution and you notice that that institution is involved into, I mean, dubious acts, and you try to, as much as possible, to talk to those involved to desist from such act, and they are not, desisting from such an act. I mean, you report it to the necessary authority. I mean, the law, that particular law, the whistleblower protection law, outline everything that you need to know as it relates to how whistleblower can be protected. Last week, we had a talk around it. I mean, how can whistleblower be protected? I mean, it's very important because if you're reporting acts of corruption, and people now are afraid to report corruption because of retaliation. For example, if I'm working in an institution that notice that there's rampant corruption and I try as much as possible to suppress it, and people will start to look at me as, yes, I'm the only Jesus in his place. I mean, they will start to come against me, and I would not want to endanger my life. I will have to play by the rules. And eventually, I'll tell somebody that if you have an apple, right, or you have a bag, right, that is full of rotten apples, and you put a ripe apple in that bag, what will happen to that ripe apple? Obviously, as time evolves, it will get contaminated. So instead of that ripe apple being amongst the rotten apple, it's very important that you take the ripe apple out, because if that ripe apple continues to be in that bag full of rotten apples, obviously that ripe apple will be contaminated. So take it out. Some people say if I report corruption, I will be fired from a job, and I will not have anywhere to go. Eventually, that person might want to stay and get themselves involved in the act, and this is not good for our country, right? This is not the culture of impunity. Somebody does wrong and nobody, even people investigate and they find that person guilty. At the end, that person is just released, free like that without penalty. And it is very bad. The culture of impunity needs to stop. It's very important that we try as much as possible to talk about these things. It's very important. That's why the Integrity Club members, ambassadors are at the universities, in the communities, in high school, talking to students, in building into them the tenets of integrity, that they will live a life of integrity when nobody is watching, doing the right thing when nobody is watching. And also, we have another segment called another activity called the Open Expenditure Forum, the Open Expenditure Initiative. So, the Open Expenditure Initiative is a kind of initiative that brings, stakeholders, county officials, the county inhabitants to, a dialogue to talk about how monies are being spent as it relates to the county social development fund or the county development funds, and how these things, what are some of those citizens driven projects that should be that the money, those monies should go to. For example, when the county social development fund is being, passed, is given to that county, you have the project team who are there to, to reside over the entire process. And some just put the money to superintendent compound, superintendent this will do the other, will do this, will do that. I mean, people do, those county officials do not seek citizens driven projects, and it is very important. It's very important. At the end, you find out that there will be a lot of there's a lot of misappropriation. I mean, corruption takes place. I mean, it goes to the highest because those people or those monies are not being placed to the rightful, are not being pushed to citizens driven project. For example, citizens can come together and say that, oh, we want we want for that money to go to this road development, this clinic development, this school development, and all of these things. But when it go back after the resolution has been passed, I mean, a lot of things that can come up from that thing. So that's why the Open Expenditure Initiative is there to, to talk into the ears of citizens that this is not right. When monies come to the county for development, I mean, everybody should have a say. The culture of inclusivity should be there. I mean, everybody, whether you are physically challenged person, I mean, there should be representation. I think 2 years ago, I was a part of the Riverside County sitting in, and the physically challenged people would say that we have been marginalized because of our disability. The monies that come into this county, imagine they give us penny. Just 1% of that money is being allotted to us. Do you think that is fair? I mean, I sat down and I fold my hands. I was like, this shouldn't be the case. Everybody should have at least an equal or at least a share. I mean, appreciable share in the disbursements of funds as it relates to the county social development fund, especially those counties that have concessionaires. I mean, companies who are operating, who are doing concessions in the county. Whatever money that come from that concession company, I mean, it should be distributed equitably. People should have a say into whatever that will be. I mean, discussed. Also sad that when I heard the representative from the disabled group. I mean, it was so sad. It was so sad. All of the money goes to this project, and I define the interesting thing about it, about this country, the Open Expenditure Initiative is that it goes not just looking at the money being distributed for that project, allocated for that project, but it goes to observe the projects to see if those monies are that were placed to those projects, of the value for money. It's very important. The value for money is very important. It's very important because you can say, okay, this we are allotting 30,000 to this, or we're allotting 30,000 to this guest suite or the presidential suite. Whenever president comes into the county, that president, for example, River says that president should have a place to stay. Should not go and rent a hotel or whatever place to stay. I mean, let the county welcome the president with that kind of I mean, a good open arms. That hospitality should be there. So the money is being placed to build the presidential suite. Let's just for example 30,000, and that 30,000 is being placed there. At the end of the project, or this yeah, at the end of the project, if we go and inspect the project, for example, there's this building in Riverside that has been since, I mean, the former president, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf time. I mean, every budget year they allot money to that particular uh, guest house. I think it was recently they said that the guest house is around 90 to 95% completed. I don't know when they'll be dedicating that particular guest house. I mean, when you go, you don't see the value for money in the project. You don't see the value for money in the project. It is very important. It is very important. And why are we there for? Why are we putting the money there? Worst case scenario, they don't follow the public the concession or agreements or the PPCC law. They don't follow it. I mean, all kinds of things. They get themselves involved in the. I think I learned that there are a few counties that they don't give. They are not giving county social development funds to for almost 2 3 years now because they gave the money to the county. I think it was doing Ellington. I think it was also doing the former president George Manawia's time as well. I mean, they gave money to that county, and the county was not accountable. The county was not accountable. You gave money to the county was 200,000. The county was not accountable to that amount. 200,000 since 2018. 20 times okay. Each county will receive this. Each county will receive that. Blah 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 blah. And they didn't, account for that money that they gave them. This is not good. That's why the Open Expenditure Initiative is there to, I mean, enlighten the minds of the citizens, the ordinary citizens. I mean, whether you are literate or illiterate, the initiative is there to, I mean, brighten the minds, to enlighten the minds that this should be this. Do not allow anybody to come and fool you. This is your taxes that is being used here. This is the taxes that is being used here. That's why the Open Expenditure Initiative is there as well. And we have the state of corruption report that looks at the perception of corruption in the country. In 2020 last year report, it says that 9 out of 10 persons believe that there is rampant corruption. And who do they trust to try as much as possible to fight corruption? Some say the media. The media can try. Some say the media, but they don't believe in the judicial system. I mean, some say, yes, civil society can try as well. Civil society can try as well. Civil society. I mean, it's very important that we know the trend of corruption. Corruption, the Transparency released the Corruption Perception Index. It says now we've from 26 to 25 or 100 now, where zero is not doing well in the fight against corruption. 100, you're doing well. And Liberia, we say that we will continue to be that kind of a way, We're 25 or 100 when a child is going to school and your child's school is 25 or 100, that child is not doing well. Imagine your child doing Ellen's, the former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf time, right, where 41 or 100. As time goes by, we came down to 39, 36, and 34, 33. I mean, we just started deteriorating. And now we are 25 or 100 last year. We're hoping that this administration, the broadcast administration, will try as much as possible. I mean, to mount up efforts as it relates to the fight against corruption. But yet and still, we are hearing some things happening as it relates to appointments, as it relates to court proceedings, and all of these things like that. I mean, we need to be serious in our country, Liberia. This country depends on us. This country depends on us. We will continue to talk as much as possible. We are not sitting down. One thing for sure is that many Liberians, if you talk about corruption, petty corruption, grand corruption. They will tell you, say, this is grand corruption, this is petty corruption, this is corruption in yourself. This is corruption in yourself. This is corruption in itself. I mean, we are till now, the word, the entire word does not have a definite, I mean, let's say a unique definition for corruption. Because every other day, corruption is just, it takes some new form. It takes some new form. Some people say entrusted power for private gain. Some people say uh, taking public resources and using it for yourself. I mean, the way the society reacts, the way the society grows, and that's how corruption grows. Every other day we hear all kinds of corruption. It is my prayer that the corruption perception index for Liberia that is at 25 over 100, at least to try as much as possible to claim the ladder. I mean, we have good laws. I mean, we have good policies on the book, and all of these things. But yet, them still, we are not, I mean, adhering to these laws. A friend of mine from Sierra Leone said that you guys have good laws. He said, my guy, you guys have good laws, but I don't know what is happening. I'm like, guy, we are here. We'll try as much as possible to do what we can do as relates to the fight against corruption. We'll try as much as possible to do what we can do. We'll try as much as possible to do what we can do. And I tell you no lie, I'm excited that Liberians are aware of the adverse impacts of corruption. I'm excited. It's just the implementation. It's just the implementation. That's why we're praying that this score report, that's the state of corruption report 2024, that we pray that there be a change. We pray that there be a change. At least we can move from 25 and go to 27, 28 like that. I mean, we could do that. We also have the Joint Civil Society Anti-Corruption Initiative for short. I always tell people that the fight against corruption cannot be won individually, right? It takes the collective efforts of, I mean, everybody to, to talk about this thing, to continue to create substantial amount of awareness, not just, in every village, in hamlets, in our society as a whole, and the entire country at large. So we have this, this initiative that is called the JOSA for short, the Joint Civil Society Anti-Corruption Initiative. It's a conglomeration of community-based organizations, civil society organizations that have come together, talking about, going out. Thankfully that they have been supported by Santa Tulucida, going out into the communities, getting hold of the media, talking about this, speaking to ills, writing press releases, doing petitions, and all of these things. It's very important that we do these things, and I'm excited that these passionate CBOs and CSOs have merged themselves to talk robustly about this issue, this menace that is eating the fabrics of Liberia. I mean, we'll continue to talk about it, though. We'll continue to talk about it. We'll continue to talk about it. It's very important. We'll continue to talk about these things. We will continue to talk about these things. It's very important, because if you want to, if you just sit and say, I'm not in this single, somebody said that, but they're doing it to us now. They are eating their own. When we get there, we'll eat our own as well. Are you kidding me? Do you want this to make this country to be an elephant meat where everybody come and just eat their own and go eat their own and go eat their own and go? No. Come to think of it, Liberia is one of the oldest, in fact, the first African republic. And we are yet, behind time. I was talking to somebody last time. I said that I think we need, it's very important. Sometimes we look at ourselves and say, we are very old. And hear them say we're still talking about providing electricity in the capital city. We're still talking about electricity. Other countries, they have like, food, electricity, 24-hour electricity in the villages, and we are still talking about stable electricity in our in the capital city. Imagine that. Somebody was saying, let's just move the capital city to Hapo. The Hapo is laid out. I say, yeah. Anyways, that is it. We have to continue with our Monrovia now. You're still talking about. I don't want to mention water because water is what we don't want to talk about us. We don't want to talk about that. But then now the one that is skyrocketing is the staple food. It's a staple food. People now, I think some of those people who are selling rice 3,500 now. I think somewhere around $19 or $20. They have jumped it. I mean to $22, some $21, 50 cents. 50 cents. Oh yes, they want to make profit because of the situation. They want to take advantage of it. They want to take advantage of it. Those retailers, I mean, they buy that rice at a normal price because you hear that the rice, this is happening. We don't do no this, no that, blah blah blah. As long as people want to make profit, though, they are taking advantage of the situation. They increase the rice price. This one I walked to a Jalo shop. I think I got a rice. I think a few days ago, 3,450. But now just only to find it's 3,750. Some places it's 3,800, 3,850, 3,840. It is jumping approximately $20. It's jumping gradually. It's jumping. Staple food. It's staple food. I mean, this does not need to be happening in this country. This does not need to be happening. We need to do something about it. 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 So we will take a break and quickly and let's go back to the whistleblower protection law. Let's talk about it after the break quickly. Then from there we'll just open the lines and you can just put your calls. We're anticipating a guest, but this traffic thing, and motorbikes are being, all of these things. However, there we will just talk about the whistleblower protection law and what are some of those benefits. Yeah. So let's take a break quickly and we'll come back. Let's take a break.
Your family members abroad need to send you money? Worry no more. Henceforth, receive your international money transfers from Europe, USA, and South Africa made via Western Union, MoneyGram, and many more directly into your Orange Money account. At Orange Money, we are family.
Orange Money.
Introducing the Orange Money Card to Wallet service. How to transfer money from your bank card to an Orange Money wallet with the Card to Wallet service. Go to the Orange Botswana website at www.orange.co.bw and select the drop-down menu and click on Orange Online. This will open a new tab which will ask you to sign in. Click on Sign Up to register for the Card to Wallet service as a new user. Enter your name, surname, the Orange number and email address that will be linked to this service. Proceed to enter your occupation and create and confirm your password, which you will then be required to sign in with every time you make a card to wallet transfer. You will then receive an email confirmation. Enter the one-time PIN that you received on your...
Whenever you're monitoring this broadcast from my own, so welcome. The program that you are in tune to is Integrity Watch. If you're monitoring us on Truth FM Live, I want to say thank you so very much for following. Keep putting your comments. We will try as much as possible to read them out for others who are not following this live broadcast. So welcome back again. Today we let's talk about quickly the witness or the whistleblower act of 2021. I mean, it's very important when you report corruption, what can happen? Somebody saying, if I report corruption, what will happen? I will be fired. I will not be able to provide for my family again. What can I do? All of these things. So that's why there's an act. Thanks to the former president, President George Manawiya, who was very instrumental in making this act being signed. I mean, what can I do when I report corruption? So the objective of this act says that it is to protect persons employed in both public and private institutions that disclose information or give evidence about actions against the public interest or good in any public or private institution, unless otherwise provided by law, to allow such person to seek legal redress. The protection of whistleblower is essential for the integrity of persecution and a person making a disclosure. I mean, this is very clear. That's the main objective of this act. And it says that the act shall apply to any protected public interest disclosures which is made after the date on which the act comes into force. The act shall ban all persons scope of disclosure. So now it means that this act is functional. I mean, it's active, it's alive. So my only thing here is that, let me just calm my voice down a little bit. My only thing here is that I don't know if you report to the relevant authority. There is a place where who is supposed to report to. If you report, we're looking at the aftermath. Because obviously, if a person's report an act of corruption, and if there is a probe into that particular matter, and they find out that yes, indeed, there is corruption, that person, if that person will be, protected. Fully protected, because the Whistleblower Act supports the Witness Protection Program, and it's my best bet that now that program has not been implemented, because if that program is to be implemented, there will be full benefit for the whistleblower. In fact, in the act, it says that certain amount will be given to the whistleblower, and they will be supported. If possible, they'll be taken out of the country. But let's go back to the act. There's a part that I want to read here. Okay, so Section 7 says of the Whistleblower Act, it says, person to whom disclosures may be made. If you see an act of corruption and you have pieces of evidence, there are specific persons or institutions you can report that act of corruption to, and give those pieces of evidence. So it says that law enforcement agency, I think we have law enforcement agencies in our country. We have the police, we have the LDA, we have the judicial, we have all of the law enforcement agencies. We have the public and private institutions. Those public and private institutions, requisite public and private institutions, you can report, that particular thing to, out of corruption to. You also have civil society organizations. For example, Center Right. If you see an act of corruption and you want to report it, you report it to us. Call 4432 number, and the professionals, including lawyers, will be there to pick up a call and listen to you. And if they find out that yes, indeed, that thing that you reported, the act of corruption and stuff, that you have pieces of evidence, they will forward it to the requisite agency or ministries, or take it to the LFCC, because they have the sole superiority of the entire anti-corruption atmosphere. So they will be able to look into that case. And when that person is found culpable of such an act, that person, the whistleblower will be protected. That's what it says there, right? So you can report it to center, because a disclosure of information may be made to one or more of the following, right? You can report it. And as soon as you report it, yeah, I mean, there'll be actions taken, right? Or other person who are capable of acting or investigating the disclosure. Now, there's a part I want us to look at quickly on this act. Quickly. Okay. Rewards or recovery of money. All right. Section 16 of the Whistleblower Act of 2021. Rewards or recovery of money. For example, if you notice that you are working in an institution and there's a specific amount of money that has been given for project related activity, and the ED or program president or whosoever, just take a huge portion of that amount and uses it for his personal gain. That is corruption right there. I mean, and the program is not going right, and things, and those things are not going right, and you try as much as possible to report it, perhaps to the donor. The donor will investigate, or either find an institution to build help in a particular case. And it says here, section 16, this is very important: rewards or recovery of money. So after they found out that organization or whatever entity, whoever person that is responsible, appropriate that fund, right? I mean, when that money is recovered, they will give you a certain amount. It says here, a whistleblower whose disclosure results in the recovery of an amount of money shall be rewarded 5%. Shall be rewarded 5% of the amount of money recovered. Shall be recorded 5% of the amount of money recovered. Shall be recorded 5% of the amount of money recovered. That's why it says it. That's why it says it. That's why it says. I read that again. A whistleblower whose disclosure results in the recovery of an amount of money shall be rewarded with 5% of the amount of money recovered. That's what it says. Yeah, that's what it says. My only point is that after the money is the liquidity of money is something that really need to look at, because just in case that person is to be given that 5%, there will be some small corruption that will take place. Yeah, that's Liberians. Some of them, they are good Liberians. They are fair, Liberians. Those Liberians who have integrity. Yeah. But let's open the line quickly to take your calls. If you are monitoring this broadcast, the program that you're in tune to is Integrity Watch. It is a 1-hour program that is aired every Wednesday and at this time from 11 to noon. So we'll open the line quickly. If you're monitoring this broadcast, you can put your call to 0777 28 59 61. 0777 28 59 61. You can put your call to 0777 28 59 61. Just put your call. Let's discuss about this particular law. I mean, do you see the relevance in this law? Let's discuss about it. Yeah, 0777 28 59 61. And let's hear you out quickly. All right. If you're not getting that number, I think we're having a problem with the studio line. You can put a call to 0776 62 6393. 0776 62 6393, and let's hear you out quickly. 0776 62 6393. Hello, caller, your name. Okay, we missed that call. 0776 62 6393. 0776 Is this law relevant? I mean, we're talking about the. All right. Hello, caller. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm always calling from PL.
Okay, great. I believe you monitoring the broadcast. Let's hear you out.
Yes.
Let's hear you out. Do you see the relevance in the whistleblower protection law that if you report corruption, you'll be protected?
Come again.
I mean, okay, that caller just went off. That caller just went off. That caller just went off. Let's hear you out quickly. Let's say you are 0776626393. 0776626393. Let's hear you out quickly. This wonderful and pleasant Wednesday morning. Put your call quick. Let's discuss about this. I mean, is this law relevant? Do you think if you report corruption, there wouldn't be that form of retaliation? You will not be penalized. Let's hear you out. All right, the lines are very hot. The lines is very hot this morning, and some people are trying to send message, and yeah, we've seen some people want to just call. We want to hear you out. Let's discuss this together. This is a matter of concern for our country. Let's discuss this quickly. Let's discuss this quickly. Let's discuss this quickly. All right, that's about. Wow. Okay, while we are waiting the call, okay. Some people are trying to beep. 0776626393. It says that section 18 says that posting of law and information. It says every employee shall keep posted in a conspicuous space on the employer's premise notice of whistleblower at an. So that is that if you report out of I mean, this law is straight, right? But it's somehow tricky because if you report an act of corruption and your employer knows that you reported an act of corruption against them, do you think you will feel secure to stay in the premises of that particular institution? If it was for me, I wouldn't because my life, I need to live long for my children, for my grandchildren to enjoy me as well. So obviously, but this is saying that every employer shall keep posting in a conspicuous. Let's take this caller. Hello, caller, you me? God, we getting people just beeping. Please call. Well, we don't want people to be. Let's call and have your say. Just have your say. Say on this program today. All right, let's take this call. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
My name is Kelly.
Okay, Grand Bassa County. I'm on the buzz. Let's say you are quickly. I believe you following the discussion, right? This law. Do you see the relevance in this law? When you put corruption, you'll be protected. I mean, what do you make of it?
Oh yes, it's important. Depending when the act on the people who read the law out of point is very much important. Because the taking corruption, a small thing, especially the man you go against. The corruption as a child, a Goliath. Too many tactics and they are strong in duality.
Okay.
Yeah, but I call for a reaching. I might have similar problem which I will put it through. I got a similar corruption issue in my place.
Okay.
Yes, thank our entire community who had a community for it.
All right, but do you know what you do for me? Call 4432 right? Just call 4432. The professionals and the lawyers will be there to pick up a call. I hope you have pieces of evidence. Just call it now, 4432. All right, thank you so very much. Do you think if you report corruption, you will be protected as it relates to this law? The law is saying that. I think you hear the law say whistleblower protection law is going to protect you. There are a lot of clauses in this particular law that says if you do this, this will happen. You'll be this. Certain percentage will go to you if there's a money that is being involved. All of these things. That's what the law is saying. That's what the law is saying. If you do this, this will happen. And if you do that, this will happen. And then it's very important. So what do you think? What do you think? Let's hear you out. Put your call to 0776 62. We only have like 5 more minutes to take calls. because we'll soon be wrapping up this show, this wonderful and blessed Wednesday morning. So you can put your calls to 077. Let's take this call. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Yes, good evening. My name is David Michael Fatoma, and I joined this conversation from residents in District 2, Madrid County.
Okay, let's say yeah.
Yeah, if we are common citizens, the law is not about our law. The implementation of it is something that I got problem with. Because you see a common citizen who is now a whistleblower of corruption are not really protected in this country. So you cannot make a law and the law is not being implemented. You will see that many people will try to blow whistles when it comes to corruption, and at the end of the day, they be harm in this country. So that law is not a bad law. The implementation of it, that they are going to protect people who are going to be whistleblowers, that is what I have problem with. You cannot make a law and the law is not being implemented. And that's where my problem comes from. So for me, I just see that law as a myth, and like at times they just make law because they want to make law. So for me, for the implementation aspect of it, that's what I have problem with. Thank you
Okay.
very much for having me.
All right. Thank you very, very much. Huh? Yeah, yes. That's why people say that we have good laws on the book, and Liberia, we are good at making laws. I mean, those relevant laws. I mean, the laws are very good. Copying from the international community, setting down crafting laws in the interest of the country. Yet them, but still the implementation seems to be the problem. This law has been around since 2021. I know if I've ever heard I mean, the Liberia anti-corruption come up to say this person is an integrity hero. I think we have some civil society institutions like the Accountability Lab to talk about the integrity icon every year. A few years back, we saw Emmanuel Tulu, who was labeled as the integrity hero. We saw posters or billboards where that boy's picture was there. Integrity icon. Since 2021, we have not heard anything from I don't know who's the relevant authority to talk about these things. We have not heard it yet. We have not heard it yet. But I want to say thank you so very much for participating. Those who are able to call. I mean, yeah, I believe you've been following the show. Take advantage of the law. Go on the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission site and download the law. Search for the law on Google. Just whistleblower protection law. Try as much as possible to download and digest and consume it. I mean, and in order to your fingertip. It's my I'm just excited that we have these kinds of laws on the book, but the implementation process is one of the things that I'm really thinking about. I don't know. It's we have good laws. I mean, good laws are there, but the implementation, and yet I'm still this there's a program that supports this law, right? But the program has not been implemented yet, and I don't know what's happening. I'm pretty sure that on um, President Waka's and administration is not. I pray that he's trying to implement this program for the whistleblowers, those who will blow whistle. I mean, they should be labeled as national heroes. I mean, heroines. It's very important that we do these things. I mean, spotlight these people. It's not that their lives will be haunted. No, I mean, local organizations, CBOs and CSOs are doing it. Like I said, the accountability lab, they're doing it. Like almost every year, they spot up integrity icons. One of my reverend, Reverend Atto L. Gigley, he was one of the integrity icon. He was spotlighted. So we need these things to be able to encourage people to talk more about the fight against corruption. So I want to say thank you so very much for monitoring this broadcast. Thank you for calling as well. The program that you were in tune to is Integrity Watch. It's a 1 hour live radio program that is aired on Truth FM with support from Center to Cedar. I want to say thank you so very much for monitoring. I've been your host, Mark Bondau, and till then, I'll see you next Wednesday. Have yourself a wonderful and blessed day. Bye bye.